Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 78 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Landy Pavlon. My colleagues, Justin Ebert and Daniel Ford, are here with us tonight, as per usual, and we're going to get our weekly fix of motorsports. From sports car racing and 9-hour red flags all the way to the hometown hero celebrating for the first time at his home track in 21 tries. We're going to get into everything. We'll start off, obviously, with the NASCAR Cup Series. As we do, we'll talk NASCAR, the Las Vegas race weekend. We'll get into F1, the Russian Grand Prix. We'll talk some F2 later on in the show, what happened in sprint race. We'll get into supercars and the whole Scott McLaughlin championship. How Scott won his third in a row. And then we'll talk sports cars. We'll get into the ADAC Nürburgring 24 hours and the IMSA WeatherTech Championship Mid-Ohio Grand Prix. We'll get into some other events, and we'll keep everybody posted of this recap. A lot happened in the world of motorsports, but let's get started from Las Vegas, Nevada. Yesterday was the NASCAR Cup Series South Point 400, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's longtime company, South Point, based from Las Vegas, Nevada. It was round 30 of 36 and the second round opener. So race 1 of 3 in the round of 12, which kicked off last night, or technically yesterday afternoon, in Las Vegas. Kurt Busch, what a story. Kurt Busch led only 29 laps in the race. He started 9th, picked up his 32nd career win, and last week we were kind of putting him in that category of round of 12 exits.
Like the thing about Kurt, before this race, the first round was not a good round for him. He ran his average was about 17th to 20th. We're like, if he does that in the round of 16, he's going to do the same thing in the round of 12. He won, but people don't. Later, after we go down the results, we'll tell you what happened.
Right.
Because some people didn't watch it because, according to people, it was too late. The race at 7 Eastern is too late.
All right. Justin, let's just move on. Matt DiBenedetto, another important finish for Matt DiBenedetto, who led 8 laps, started 19th, and for the third time in his career and the second time at this track, his correct best finish of second. His career best finish of second.
Yeah, and he did that other second place this year in race number 2 of the season.
Yeah, that was a great finish for him.
Yep.
I think it's safe to say that DiBenedetto's best track is Vegas.
Yeah.
Mathematically, you're correct. And here's the thing. That second place finish from Las Vegas was only round 2 of the season. Round 2 of the season feels like 19 months ago in the same year.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It felt long. We'll know what happened. Later, what I told you. We'll say what happened to have these results.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's another thing. We'll talk later in the show about DiBenedetto's standing in 2021. Where he'll be is still questionable for the Wood brothers, but expect an announcement sometime this week. We've heard from the networks of motorsport.com and even NASCAR and NBC. They actually talked about it in the race broadcast yesterday, where Matt DiBenedetto will be in 2021. Well, let's carry on with the results. Denny Hamlin won stage 1. He finished 3rd after leading 121 laps after his car was 10th from the starting grid. Teammate Martin Truex Jr. finished 4th. Truex Jr. won this fall race last year. Truex started 11th. Alex Bowman, who finished 5th, led 5 laps, started 8th, pulled an interesting strategy that worked, and somewhat didn't work at the same time. It was still enough for Bowman to get a 5th place finish. Somewhat on the same page of that is Kyle Busch, who led 6 laps and started second. The Busch brother, the younger Busch brother, is still winless this year in this championship defending season. Has not gone Kyle Busch's way. Ryan Blaney, who was the surprise driver to get eliminated from the round of 16 last week, finished 7th after leading 1 lap. Eric Jones, whose 2021 season is questionable for where Jones will be next year. Finished a solid 8th. How about this? Chris Buescher finished 9th after leading 10 laps and started 16th. And Kevin Harvick, who drew pole, didn't lead any laps, but managed to come home in the 10th position. Now I'm going to list some notables. Jimmy Johnson, in his final start at Las Vegas, finished 11th. And the rest of the playoff drivers are as this. Clint Boyer finished 12th after starting 6th. Brad Keselowski led 2 laps, finished 13th. Joey Logano led 1 lap, finished 14th. Eric Jones finished in the Eric Almirola.
I was about to say, I'm like, Eric Jones is not in the playoffs. He didn't make I think you're still tired. I think you're tired.
I'm very tired.
Get some good rest tonight. Get some good rest tonight.
10-4, Justin. Eric Almirola finished 17th. Chase Elliott on stage 2 led 73 laps.
Oh my God.
After strategy going wrong. William Byron, who led 12 laps, did finish 25th, and Austin Dillon is the only playoff driver to finish outside the top 30 and 32nd.
Oof.
Yeah, which is going to kill him in points now because I think he is 12 below the cut line.
Yeah, he's currently P12. Yeah, he's...
It's not looking too good for Austin Dillon compared to the last round where he secured 2 top 5 finishes in the 3 races of the round of 16, doing exactly what
he was earlier.
Therefore,
he was running up front until overheating and his power steering gave out.
Yeah, that really cost him.
Yeah. And people that don't know what happened in that Vegas race of how did Kurt Busch win are probably people like, oh, did he dominate?
No.
During the final stage, Denny Hamlin, Alex Bowman, they were first and second. Bowman short pitted before Hamlin. Then Hamlin pitted the next lap. Bowman passed Hamlin in turn 3 and 4. Before Alex Bowman unlapped himself, a caution came out.
Which really cost him.
Which, of all, I've noticed this is a kind of a trend. When Alex Bowman's doing good and a caution comes out, it was Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, God.
Which I've just noticed some other races, it was him. I was so confused. And then Bowman got the free pass.
Yeah.
And then a lot of waiver rounds.
A lot of waiver rounds. Well,
yeah.
Most people that pitted before the caution came out, and Kurt Busch was out in front.
Yep.
So that made him stay out. That made him become the leader for the yellow, for the restart. So that's how he got into the lead, and then eventually reach your lane and into the next round.
But do you want to know what happened to Chase Elliott to get 22nd?
Oh, God.
One of the restarts, Corey LaJoie messed up so badly, stacked up the outside lane. Logano and Chase made contact, and that's how Chase fell down to 22nd. And it's, again, Chase Elliott choked, basically. Remember, Chase Elliott did so good in the spring and had a flat tire. This time, has a bad restart and falls down to 22nd.
Yeah, that's bad.
Chase doesn't have luck at Las Vegas, I can tell you that.
No, he's not counting in. I guess he's gambling his life away, as gambling attorneys say, TV commercials that show up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Have a gambling addiction? Call this number now and we'll get your money back.
Joseph, why are you watching that at 3 a.m.? Usually people are sleeping at 3 in the morning.
Oh, let's get into the standings, shall we?
Okay.
Kurt Busch, likewise, as we mentioned, he's secured in the round of 8 with that win. He's advanced.
But he's not the points leader. It's still
not the points leader, but let's go one notch beneath Kevin Harvick. Plus 61 above the cut line. Kevin Harvick.
But he's still only plus 3 ahead. Hamlin's only 3 behind.
That's the thing. But let me just go down the list here. Is Kevin Harvick plus 61 with all those bonus points that Harvick accumulated. It's going to help him, especially through this next race at Talladega. Same with Denny Hamlin plus 58. But after Hamlin, the uncertainty really shines. Brad Keselowski, just let's just say success in 2020 without stage points results in 16 points above the cut line entering Talladega. Martin Truex Jr. plus 15, Joey Logano plus 11, Chase Elliott plus 10, Alex Bowman plus 9, and then the cut line underneath Kyle Busch minus 9, Clint Bowyer minus 20, Eric Almirola minus 27, and minus 32, Austin Dillon.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Wait, who are the last four drivers that are in?
The last four
drivers?
Kyle Busch, Clint Bowyer, Eric Almirola, and Austin Dillon. Those are the fun. Yeah.
It's just not looking good. I mean, with Kyle Busch, he should be up into the round of 8 right now.
Yeah,
but
he would.
He's just not looking good.
Yeah, and plus next 2 races, Talladega and the Roval. Kyle Busch at Talladega recently in the last couple of years, he gets himself in a wreck, or he, like last year, him and his brother caused the wreck, and the Roval.
Or he ends up blowing up.
Something, and the Roval. He's never finished the Roval. Yeah. His best finish at the Roval is 20th. At the Roval.
That's not good.
And the Roval, when you finish 20th, in a situation, if you wreck at Talladega and finish 20th at the Roval, it's not gonna.
You're not coming back into the next round.
Yeah, you got to basically run solid, get points, basically that. But running 20th after a DNF and running 20th, you're not gonna make it in, except if you're Kurt Busch with a win.
Now, Kurt Busch might be the only driver that's going to get a good sleep on Saturday night heading into the Talladega 500. But the question is, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, all they need is a few stage points. I think for Harvick, he'll just need like one top 10 in the stage, and he'll be fine.
But Brad Keselowski, that's where Brad is, and then underneath Brad Keselowski, that's where they get worried.
From plus 58, where Denny Hamlin is above the cut line, to plus 16 above the cut line in Brad Keselowski. Just one position separate those two.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with people saying, "Oh, Chase is ahead by Bowman by a lot." They're only separated by a point. Chase is plus 10, Bowman 9. It's like Chase was running so solid early, so we're like, "Oh, he's gonna have like 20 points going into finish 22nd, so he's only 10 points." That's how, you don't want to make your mistakes, because Talladega, I know last race we didn't have too many big ones, but that was in the spring.
It's a wild card.
Yeah, this is in the playoffs. People want to make to the round of 8. And
if you haven't watched the race last year, there were 3 big wrecks and then a photo finish.
Yeah.
Continue what we were saying there, Justin. And
also, then you have the Roval. That race, which is so unpredictable. The first year, everybody, Truex is going to win. And then Johnson had the mistake. They both lost. And then 2019, Chase Elliott came back from missing turn 1 he hit the tire barrier and then ends up winning. That's how unpredictable these 2 next tracks are in this round.
I find something funny, and I know it's irrelevant to the conversation in terms of the NASCAR playoffs, but if Chase Elliott made the same mistake at Daytona that he had the Roval, he would have had a certain DNF. The Daytona road course.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it there.
Well, if people don't notice about people that think things about cutting things in half, like Alex Bowman, who finished 4th in the first Roval race, finished 2nd. If he cuts that second in half, it would be a win. I just realized that. I don't know. I just don't know if that'll happen. It just depends how his car is and doesn't make the mistakes like last year on lap 1.
All right, so we'll talk more about Cup. Heading into the race previews, the next race will be the Talladega 500, sponsored by Yellowwood.
And it's on NBC, not NBCSN, so people that don't have NBCSN are happy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that'll be round 31 and 36, and the second race in the round of 12.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and move over to the Xfinity side. Talk about the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It definitely...
The Chase Briscoe sweeps the Las Vegas races. There's whatever it's called.
Get the broom for Chase Briscoe. Do a clean sweep as Vegas.
Yep.
He swept both stages. So on stage 1 and stage 2, led 164 laps. Did exactly what he did earlier this year.
In the spring, yeah.
It's his 10th career win, 8th of the season.
I remember he said, I want to get 8 wins by the end of the season. He already has 8. Yeah,
so just keep going now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Try to just get all the points and try to make sure he is, if he could just rally more point finishes, he wants to make it to the championship 4 and have a shot at the championship.
Sure looks like it.
Yep.
That's right. Chase is going to make it.
Yeah.
Make it to the championship 4 if he keeps it going. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is the first race. This was the first race of the 2020 Xfinity Series playoffs. If you're not familiar with the Xfinity Series playoffs, nothing has changed. It's the round of 12, 3 races each. 4 drivers get eliminated for the round of 8, 3 races, and then the final 4 race where the highest of that race wins the championship. So that was the first race in that category. Noah Gragson finished second after starting 6th. Daniel Hemrick finishes in a much better 3rd place compared to his junior motorsports debut back in February at this track.
When he DNF'd.
Right, Justin Allgaier, 3rd highest playoff driver, finishing 4th in the race after starting 3rd. Ryan Sieg, who led 3 laps, finished 5th after starting 12th. Austin Cindric led 10 laps and finished 6th. Michael Annett, who led 8 laps after starting 13th, finished 7th. Anthony Alfredo, 8th. Harrison Burton and Justin Haley, 2 playoff drivers, were 9th and 10th. I need to slow myself down. I really need to slow down. Brandon Jones finished 11th. Riley Herbst 12th, Brandon Brown 13th, and Ross Chastain, who led 15 laps, finished 16th.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which Ross hit the wall early in the race, which didn't help him at all with the car. And interesting race, especially at the beginning, when Kyle Wetterman, something broke on his car, and where the pace car comes out, he was blocking the entrance of the pace car. He was blocking where the pace car is supposed to move. He was blocking. He was going. When I saw him, I remember we were all laughing about the pace car couldn't even pull out until they moved Wetterman's car out the way, which was interesting.
That was funny.
Yeah, and Austin Hill got 17th after him doing good the night before, and which was an interesting Vegas race, but not compared to the Cup Series. Cup Series with the yellows. No, this race was just Chase Briscoe.
It was very smooth.
Yeah, and Michael Annett tried the strategy of staying out, but Briscoe was still on the lead lap. Briscoe was
finish 7th.
Yeah. But Chase Briscoe, the thing about Briscoe, is Briscoe lost positions on the restart. He said any restart he would spin the tires. Other than those restarts, he was still pulling the laps, pulling away, and winning.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the Las Vegas race is complete in the round of 12, which leads us to 2 more races and challenging. Las Vegas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Road Course, 3 completely different tracks.
Yep.
will determine the round of 8. And so Briscoe's win is enough to advance him into the round of 8.
Yep.
Austin Cindric is second, plus 53 above the cut line.
Yep.
Noah Gragson, third, plus 36. Justin Allgaier, plus 28 in fourth. Justin Haley, plus 14 in fifth. Brandon Jones, plus 13. Brian Sieg, plus 9. Harrison Burton, plus 2.
Oh.
And then beneath the cut line, minus 2 points, Ross Chastain, which is surprising by many. Michael Annett, minus 10. Riley Herbst, minus 14.
Oh, jeez.
And Brandon Brown, minus 20.
Yep.
They're entering Talladega, which will be the second race in the round of 12, and that'll be round 28 of the season.
Yeah, and which that race was actually not scheduled until because some races got canceled, so they put Talladega to replace it. Because Talladega is only usually in this weekend. If it would have been the normal 2020 schedule, it would have just been the Cup and Truck series. They say would have had an off week this week, but because of the pandemic, some races got canceled. So they're like, we'll put Talladega for the Xfinity Series playoffs, which is going to be hopefully interesting.
Yeah.
But it's better than the ARCA cars when ARCA went there in June when the single file random race that nobody
understood. Fans don't like it. The drivers do.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the race that, the last time we went to Talladega, the truck was kind of funny. The Cup Series had, like, it's weird. The Cup Series had no practice and all that. They didn't wreck much with no practice, but when there's so much practice at qualifying, they crash more, which is interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and truck race.
Let's get trucking here. Keep on trucking. What's his name? Vince Welch says that every time. NASCAR goes side by side on Fox.
We'll keep on trucking. That's what he says every time it's side by side.
Yep, the Truck Series race at Las Vegas was round 18 of the season. In the second race of the round of 10 in the NASCAR Truck Series playoffs. So Las Vegas was once again Austin Hill. Austin Hill, once again, king of the hill at Las Vegas. I had to say.
Yeah, and
of course he moves to the round of 6.
Round of 8.
Round of 8. Which also, I heard people nickname the race after what happened, the second place driver. Some people named it the Sheldon Creed Chokes at Vegas 200. I'm like, well, he kind of did. Yeah, Sheldon Creed did get second.
Yeah, well, listen to this. Sheldon Creed won both stages, led 89 laps, and nearly had it in the bag, and just out of nowhere, number 16, Austin Hill.
Yeah, and then towards the end, Creed was catching until Creed made a mistake and hit the wall, which lost him time.
Yep, Austin Hill did lead 39 laps. That was the 6th career win of Austin Hill's Truck Series career. He really worked to get himself in that position.
Yeah, because after what happened at Bristol, which that was a horrible race for him, but Vegas, like, Austin Hill's just good on mile and a half compared to other drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Bristol's his worst track, but in which he did good at at Vegas, which
Yep.
Yep.
Tanner Gray, for the third time this year, gets his career best finish of 3rd after starting 12th. Well done for Tanner Gray. Stuart Friesen is improving numbers. Like I said a few times here and there, not only has Toyota been somewhat of, a slow transition for Stuart Friesen and a bit of a struggle this year, but I think the lack of practice in qualifying has really gotten to him.
Well, even Vegas and Daytona, he was not that fast. Even
can't
with
really
practice.
take 2 races and.
But still, it's like. but it's not like I heard it's not a full KBM alliance. It's not a full alliance compared to a KBM powered truck.
That was certainly a Stuart Friesen performance that we haven't seen in a while. Chandler Smith finished 5th after starting 5th.
Yeah, his first race at Las Vegas got top 5, which is good for that 51 team in the Owners' Championship.
Yep. Finishing 6th, Grant Enfinger, 3rd highest playoff driver.
Oh, yeah, him almost getting in a wreck.
Yeah, managed to finish 6th. 7th place, Zane Smith. 8th, Christian Eckes, who led 5 laps. 9th place, Matt Crafton. And 10th was Tyler Ankrum. There's some other drivers. Todd Gilliland started 10th, finished 13th. Brett Moffitt, after drawing pole, led 1 lap, then finished 15th. How about these 2 drivers from Nice Motorsports? Big names like Connor Daly and Travis Pastrana.
Yeah.
Travis Pastrana finished 21st, while his teammate Connor Daly outperformed him. IndyCar driver Connor Daly finished 18th in his series debut. Ben Rhodes finished 23rd, the lowest playoff driver in the field.
Yeah.
Which also...
I was not expecting that from Connor Daly at all.
And another thing about Connor Daly, at least that he was not on the lead lap, because literally because he finished a lap down. If there would have been another lap, he blew up after the checker. So if he had another lap, he would have probably had a blown engine on the final.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, like I literally saw after the checker, I see Connor Daly on fire. I'm like, oh. People said, oh, it's like when Junior Johnson. Remember that engine in the first All-Star race? Darrell Waltrip's engine blew all up to pieces.
Yeah, and then all the suspicion began in the garage area.
People thought that it was Waltrip that cranked it, like hold the clutch in,
not giving it all.
Or that Junior Johnson put an explosive on it. I don't know.
You guys Humpy Wheeler, who on the track back then always used explosive pyrotechnics during pre-race for the Coca-Cola 600 in his time.
I remember
one. So there's that.
Yeah.
So the next race obviously will be Talladega this weekend for the 3rd and final race in the round of 10. 8 drivers will go home. It's very close. It is the closest in terms of numbers between the 3 series of the NASCAR playoffs this year. Austin Hill is in. He's secured. Doesn't have to worry about Talladega. All that anxiety Talladega brings will not apply to Austin Hill. He could just go out there and go for the win.
Or just
or be taken out early in the big one like other drivers have experienced.
Or just try to get a top 5 the way Wendell Chavis got a top 5 in his last truck start in 2 years.
All right.
Yeah.
So aside from Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed is second plus 52 above the cut line.
But he's the point. Austin Hill is second, but he's leading because of a win. But he's actually 7th. If the point numbers, but Creed has the most, which Creed is doing. I know Creed had not the best season last year, but this year he's showing what he can do in his 2nd season. He's really proving his talents right now.
All right. Let's move down the list. Sheldon Creed plus 52. Brett Moffitt plus 44. Zane Smith plus 39. Grant Enfinger plus 31. And then after Enfinger, it's even closer to the cut line. Plus 15, Tyler Ankrum, as well as Matt Crafton, plus 15, and plus 6, Christian Eckes. Minus 6, Ben Rhodes, and minus 19, Todd Gilliland. It's really like musical chairs.
Yeah.
People, less chairs.
Yeah.
Time running out.
Yeah.
Talladega is that chess game. We'll get into that later in the podcast, I think.
Oh, yeah, the race that's on FS1 and Kansas on Fox. Don't know about Fox's interesting tactics. Put a
college football.
Yeah, but how is Kansas on Fox? That's weird. I don't know how they got around the college football on Fox thing for Kansas. I don't know. They figured out a way.
Without further ado, let's get into some F1.
Gosh, they should literally rename that race the Mercedes Grand Prix.
Not really. At least.
Well,
Listen, at least is the last name is not Hamilton now.
But the thing is,
yeah.
But the thing is, Bottas has already won there. Like, Mercedes is the only constructor, so Mercedes should still be the Mercedes. Yeah, Mercedes has still won again.
Yep. So, the Russian Grand Prix held at Sochi Autodrome, which literally surrounds the Sochi Olympic Park,
where
the 2014 Winter Olympic Games were held, and I actually remember a lot from the 2014 Winter Olympics, like TJ Oshie shocked the Russians, and Team USA won in that shootout. The Sochi Oshie nickname was invented as a result. For a long time, everyone called him Sochi Oshie. Then, of course, TJ Oshie traded to the Capitals, ended up winning a Stanley Cup with Ovechkin 2 years back.
Yeah, but not now in 20
podcast. This is the Motorsports podcast.
Yeah, last time I checked, because there's no, it's not, we're not a hockey pod. This is not World Hockey Media. It's World Hockey Media. I wonder if somebody will create a channel named World Hockey Media. Maybe somebody will do that.
Maybe, yeah. But
Stanley Cup finals are tonight, though. If Tampa wins, they get their second ever Stanley Cup, and Dallas can get their second Stanley Cup if they win tonight.
Well, Joseph,
if they win and go on and win Game 7.
Well, in your NHL league, I'm the only one that picked. I picked Tampa, and everybody else picked somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get back to the track around those arenas.
Yeah, let's get back on track here.
Yeah,
the Sochi Autodrome. This race really, really helped in terms of bringing back normality. When 30,000 spectators were on hand to watch this race, the highest attendance. Well, as far as this year is concerned.
Yeah.
For the race that have been held.
Yeah.
Valtteri Bottas led 38 laps. He got the fastest lap, which means another point for Bottas.
So, he just
third. It's his 9th career win. His second of the season. His second at Russia.
Yeah.
And his 53rd career podium. Mercedes is now 7 for 7 in all the Russian Grand Prix at Sochi.
Oh, yeah.
Max Verstappen started second, finished second, his 38th career podium, and Lewis Hamilton had a very eventful day.
Yeah.
Hamilton led 15 laps and scored his 96th career pole, his 159th career podium, despite getting a penalty and with the race ban in terms of the super license is concerned. Justin, go on about that.
The thing about what Lewis Hamilton, he did this thing twice, which was parking off the pit lane and out of the way. According to the FIA, you're not allowed to do that. And he got, instead of getting a 5-second penalty for the same thing, he got 2 5-second penalties. Which I was so confused. I'm like, why penalize him now? And those 2 incidents was on Friday in practice. Why couldn't they penalize him on Friday?
It was previous warm-ups when he did that.
No, it's practice 1 and practice 2. So
I guess Hamilton's 2 points from getting a race ban on the super license.
But I guess now those 2 points he got.
Yeah.
He was ordered to pay a fine instead by the FIA. But the thing is, these rules are kind of weird. I've said it before, the FIA is kind of inconsistent because I remember Vettel did this in 2013 on the front straightaway. Didn't even get a penalty, which I'm like, he's on the front straightaway. There's nothing. It's like...
Last time I checked, if you're in the top 3, you're supposed to park the car in park firm A. Well, that's for post rate.
Yeah, but that was before the practice started. So
I've seen drivers, they stop and go before the race starts, practices start.
Like I've seen so many like last year at Abu Dhabi, Mahavir Raghunathan had to let the two cars ahead of him roll. He rolled before and got a penalty, but that guy got too many penalties
Yeah,
last
you always go about my favorite Gunnison.
year.
I guess if there was a WWE for driving, and nothing against paying for a local demolition derby at your local short track, go ahead and support your short tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's that for comedy. I just don't understand why the FIA makes they have all these rules, and we know they have numbers of rules. Some are more enforced than others.
Yeah, it's like because
at this point, really, it's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
People are saying that the FIA did that for preventing Hamilton to tie Schumacher. I'm like, no, the FIA wouldn't do that. If they would do that, well, there's a problem with that.
They probably didn't. Here's the thing. Nonetheless, Hamilton didn't get third. He managed to bring it onto the podium.
Yeah, even with the penalty he served before his pit stop, he still got third, which is next race, which is Germany, if people didn't know, which is in 2 weeks.
Yes. We'll get into that. Let's continue on with the classification. Outside the podium, Sergio Perez, best finish for the team this year in 2020. Daniel Ricciardo had a time penalty in the race, a 5-second time penalty. Finished fifth. Leclerc, sixth. Esteban Ocon completes a double points Russian Grand Prix for Renault.
Yeah, they actually did good. Good points for them.
Danny Kvyat, the hometown favorite, and Peter Gasly, the Cinderella story, who won at Monza. As I call the Monza Miracle. 8th and 9th for AlphaTauri. They get double points. Another double points finish for them. And Alex Albon, double points for Red Bull. Albon, likewise, when it comes to time penalties, had to serve a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah, which is good for Albon for doing that, which is and Giovinazzi did get P11.
Giovinazzi, P11, no points since the opening race for him.
But he's still, at least he hasn't wrecked it. He was not involved in an accident like at Mugello, where he almost flipped over.
Right, that was Mugello was a whole other story of a race. This one went much more smoothly.
There was only one safety car. And then
that virtual 15 seconds.
It's like virtual safety car. Oh, it's already gone. It's like
you push a button twice.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the drivers who didn't get points. Kevin Magnussen, 12th. Sebastian Vettel, 13th.
Yeah.
He's only finished the points consecutively for only once this year has Vettel scored 2 consecutive points finish, or one has where you finish in the points for 2 races in a row. I'm trying to word that right.
Yeah, and he also only has 17 points this season, which is not it's not the best look
for
points.
It was Vettel's 250th career Grand Prix start.
And people said he was going to get a podium, according to fans. Ferrari fans.
Leclerc is great on its own.
Yeah, Ferrari's still lacking speed. If people didn't notice they were about 2 seconds off in practice, which is not the best indication of your speed.
Right. Let's get on the list. Kimi Räikkönen, the most experienced driver in Formula One history, finished 14th.
Yep.
Lando Norris.
For
the first time this year. Well, Lando Norris. We'll get into that in a moment. But no points for McLaren for the first time in 2020.
Ooh.
Nicholas Latifi, 16th. Romain Grosjean, 17th. He continues the streak of 0 points claimed this year. George Russell was the last car running on track in 18th. 2 retirements. Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll, they both crashed on lap 1. And as I mentioned, no points at all for McLaren. Third place is a whole new ball game as far as the constructors' points are concerned.
Yeah,
but they'll get a week off. Formula One will be back in 2 weeks' time for the race at Nürburgring, known as the Eiffel Grand Prix, on October 11th, around 11 of 17.
Oh, I just realized, if Hamilton gets his 91st win there, the German fans are not gonna like that.
Actually, they will.
I don't know. Some people say this person that is a Schumacher fan's like, Hamilton's not allowed to tie Michael Schumacher. I'm like, it's not a rule.
Who took Schumacher's ride when Schumacher retired?
Yeah.
Hamilton replaced after
5 championships later.
Yeah, and Perez went to McLaren.
Hamilton. The point is Hamilton and Schumacher. Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they have a good rapport.
Yeah. Yeah,
and Mercedes, of course, that would be their home track. So I don't.
Yeah.
I think it'll be special if it happens. But let's just get to the World Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
A lot of fans and a lot of critics of Formula One said a few races back, Hamilton is a wrap for the World Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't
really.
Look at the gap here.
Well, it's 40 points, but the thing is, Hamilton's got more points finishes than Bottas.
Yeah, true.
Bottas Bottas at the British Grand Prix didn't even get points. Lewis got the win. Like, the thing is Bottas has one race finish with no points. Hamilton has points finishes in every event, which is good.
Also, who has the fastest lap? Seems like more often it's
But Bottas gets some fast lap, but most of the time Hamilton's the one with the fastest laps and the wins. Like, you just see sometimes Spain, the race that people said it was called the boring Grand Prix because Lewis was lapping people, which was because he was just that fast at Spain. He just kept lapping people. I think he lapped the Williams twice in the race. That's how fast he was that weekend.
All right. So, Hamilton is the championship lead, 205 points. Valtteri Bottas, 161 points. Max Verstappen, 128 points.
Yeah, he's getting good finishes, but that DNF, Mugello and Monza, that's hurt him in the points. Because he got 2 DNFs in a row, and then he got points here, so.
Yeah. I guess that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Not every race will be the same.
Yeah.
But I think the point is that what is the question now? I want to let you discuss, you get into why each Grand Prix is different. So what makes every Grand Prix have a different feel each week?
Yeah, the thing about how Max is just there with the Mercedes, but the thing is he doesn't have the speed. The Red Bull, people hate Albon right now. People are saying, "Oh, Albon sucks." But the thing about Alexander Albon is he can't the thing about how bad the Red Bull drives, the Red Bull does not handle right. It's loose and tight. It's understeers, oversteers. The car has too much drag on the straight.
It's pretty much all over the place. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not like Mercedes, how smooth it drives. There's more grip on that Mercedes than the Red Bulls. It's a hard car to drive, basically. Yeah, it's so. I know in fourth, right now in fourth in the F1 standings. In fourth we have, now I gotta remember. I think it's still Lando, I don't know.
Lando Norris.
Yeah, Lando's still fourth in the standings. Even with not getting points, he still stays fourth. But it's getting close. 11 points.
Yeah, Lando Norris is 1 point ahead of Albon and 2 points ahead of Ricciardo. So the battle for fourth in the World Drivers' Championship is up for grabs, and don't look too far back. Tied with 57 points, 7th and 8th, Charles Leclerc, Lance Stroll.
Yeah. His
Sergio Perez in 9th. And looking in 10th place, Pierre Gasly in the World Drivers' Championship. So yeah, there's battles all around.
Yeah, it is. For other than Lewis Hamilton pulling away, there's been battles in different different positions and points, except the battle for the no points, which there's still drivers.
3 drivers without points this year: Latifi, Grosjean, Russell.
Wait, actually, Russell's ahead of Grosjean. Grosjean's 21st in the points, which is kind of embarrassing, but the Williams car still doesn't draw. It's better than last year, but they're still slow. Grosjean, the reason Magnussen got his point was he got kind of lucky there with people wrecking. Other than that, the Haas is not a good car to drive.
All right, let's go talk about the World Constructors Championship. Mercedes in no man's land, as I mentioned, or in another planet.
Yeah.
Another universe with 366 points. Red Bull Racing Honda second, 192 World Constructors Championship points.
Yeah.
Leclerc Renault. Now this is where I mentioned that having a double retirement or a double non-points finish was going to cost them a shot third in the World Constructors Championship. They're now 2 points ahead of
the Racing Point team.
The Racing Point BWT Mercedes. Lance Stroll and Checo Perez.
But
100 points, 104 points.
Well, it did help that Racing Point had the 6 points also from Hulkenberg at the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. That was good that Hulkenberg got points also, which that really helps after Perez not being there for those 2 events. That helped them. So, yeah.
And moving down the list, Renault team, 99 points. Double points really helped them yesterday. Ferrari, this time in the hands of Charles Leclerc. Ferrari has only 3 double points finishes this year.
Oh my gosh.
74 points for the Maranello bunch.
Yeah, I wonder who has
7th, AlphaTauri, double points finish for AlphaTauri Honda, 59 points total this year in the World Championship. Alfa Romeo Racing Ferrari, 4 points from just 2 races.
Yeah.
Haas only 1 point from 1 race this year. Still just that 10th from Magnussen at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and no points for Williams in 2020.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, like the thing that's interesting about some of these teams, people are like, the thing about some people are saying that Grosjean sucks, but like this Haas car is just not good compared. Like Haas's 2016 chassis was actually good.
Yeah, it really was.
2017 was decent. 2018 was 2019 the chassis was not good. Same as 2020. So I don't know what is it.
You remember what happened in 2016, the very first race?
Team orders.
Wow. A 6th place. Haas's first ever. And Gutierrez. Yeah. 6th place for Grosjean and Gutierrez and Alonso crashed into Gutierrez.
Yeah.
So it was Gutierrez didn't do good, and then Grosjean got 6th. So yeah, Haas had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Except their other car crashed, but like the thing about Haas recently, it's not. People think it's all on Grosjean. Well, Grosjean has 10 podiums, which is interesting. The thing about the Haas team, they also have Kevin Magnussen. He has 1 point finishes this season, but last year, I know people are like Grosjean has to stop crashing in the race. I literally said Magnussen has to stop crashing in qualifying. Like at Japan, he spun, could have saved it, backs up in the barrier, it destroys the car. It's like, it's not all on Grosjean. There's another driver there. There's Magnussen that he's not doing the best either. And Williams, their car is still slow, but better than last year. They just need, like, there's some races, like, if that Lance Stroll incident didn't happen, basically,
he would have been in the top 5.
Like, Williams would have been ahead of Ferrari. Even the Williams were faster than the Ferraris.
Yeah.
But the thing is about Russell, that red flag didn't help. That Stroll had his puncture. If that didn't happen, Russell would have got points. But they're still looking for his first points in F1.
So close yet so far.
Yeah, driving the Williams is still hard. Better than last year. Last year was just the worst compared to 2018 was not the best, but 2017 and 2016 were better than 2020.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the races. This is where the World Championship gets a lot more complicated than it has when we bring Nürburgring back into the picture. The obviously the GP circuit, not the Nürburgring from the race that happened.
No.
Grand Prix.
Yeah,
I think it's the first time in about 3 years since they last ran at the Nürburgring track in Formula One. I know they used to revolve for the German Grand Prix, the Hockenheim ring and the Nürburgring, like every other year. Of course, it was taken off for a while. There wasn't even supposed to be a German Grand Prix this year.
Yeah, the last time was 2013 for the Grand Prix. F1 last race at the Grand Prix circuit at Nürburgring in 2013. 7 years ago. It's been 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's going to be like there's some drivers that are experienced, that like Lewis Hamilton, some of these drivers have. Some of these drivers don't. Have never ran. So they'll be having to learn during practice. They'll have to learn before putting fast laps in qualifying. And obviously nobody's going to make a mistake and go towards the Nordschleife because that's going to be barred off. Somebody somehow gets there's a problem if somebody ends up not where the circuit is, that's going to be a problem. That would be really embarrassing. Yeah.
All right. Okay. With the NERP, which is 2 weeks' time, then they'll race at the Portuguese Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever in Portimao.
Yeah.
This should be fun.
Which is the Algarve circuit.
Yeah.
Commonly known as the Portimao circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And track is ready for a Formula One race. A lot of people call it, it's another Tilk circuit. Who cares who created the track? Herman Tilke or tractor rider with a name I don't recognize.
Yeah. Quick question. For the Portuguese Grand Prix, who was the last driver to win at Portugal?
Jacques Villeneuve. 1996.
Oh.
In a Williams Renault.
Oh, the season that he lost the title to Damon Hill, and Damon Hill got basically Williams kicked him out for Heinz-Harald Frentzen in '97, so he went to the Footwork Arrows team and got one podium, almost could have won until he had hydraulics problem at Hungary and finished second, which was their the last podium for that team. Yeah. Yeah, I just remember that from watching listening about a video about the reason I know about that video was because of I was watching a video about Ricardo Rossi, not the best F1 driver, and talking about how Damon Hill went to Arrows in '97, which was interesting.
Yeah, let's move on and get into another racetrack that has not been in the F1 scene in about 14 years. The Andromeda International Enzo Dino Ferrari, the track in Imola named after Enzo and Dino Ferrari, basically the two greatest figures in European cars and racing. That track has not ran an F1 race in
2006.
2006.
Yep. Yeah, that race that I still remember what happened.
The San Marino Grand Prix, is it?
Yeah.
It was known.
Yeah, the race that Christian Albers got flipped over by Yuji Ide, and that was his last F1 race after getting his super license revoked. Which I just know some of these races. I just remember what the last race and what reasons. Yeah.
And of course, that track was also home for one of the blackest weekends in motorsports history with the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, which claimed the lives of Roland Ratzenberger and one of the greatest drivers in Formula One history, Ayrton Senna, the following day. And many changes were made. If you remember Rubens Barrichello's incident, a lot of people thought Barrichello's career would never happen again after practice, and but many changes to tracks and safety were made, and
which at least they did those changes on time. Like they want the sport to be safe,
right?
Because people say, "Oh, going over 200 miles an hour in a car is safe." I'm like, safe? An F1 car is... Have you seen how an F1 car
dangerous
works?
It's downright dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah, like even like we've seen wrecks, like we've seen even today we've seen these days crashes in F1 or like
Formula 2.
Like you saw what happened at Spa last year. Like those types of incidents could still happen. I'm glad that F1, like the FIA, are putting these safety measures to make the sport safe, because they don't want any bad things. Like
it's still a fast track. Imola has about 4 chicanes in the corners, and
like before, like the V12. Like those, the current F1 cars, so even that's not like the V12s, but even the V12s were not that fast compared to the V10s. These current cars still go fast with the DRS, like DRS on the straights. In a Mercedes, basically you're going to be bolting down there. Like you still go fast around the track, even with current cars.
Two more tracks, new tracks or new layouts after or returning tracks for this year in the Formula One World Championship. Of course, we go to Istanbul, the Istanbul Park circuit, home with a Turkish Grand Prix, which has last been held in 2011, a race dominated obviously by world champion Sebastian Vettel over teammate Mark Webber, the two Red Bull teammates at the time.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered of what somebody posted a couple weeks ago. Somebody literally put the Ralph Wiggum thing. I'm in danger, and it's a contact. Vettel and Leclerc making contact.
Justin, are you talking about the 2010 incident?
Yeah, basically, people are thinking about that.
Justin, let's move on. We have one more different track for 2020. That would be the Sakir Grand Prix. It's a different layout for the Bahrain International Circuit.
Oh, that one.
Right.
Which I guess the Mercedes might do a sub-minute lap time, like under a minute, possibly.
They refer to an oval. It does not look like an oval at all to me.
Well, it's
NASCAR fans.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the fastest track basically, like in lap time, because there's most of the corners are high speed corners, so the Mercedes will probably get the win. Possibly, we'll see.
We'll have to find out how many times they have to use the DRS in the lap, and of course the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix will close out the season.
Which Abu Dhabi people say it's boring. Well, it's
a Tilka layout, but it has nice scenery.
Yeah, there's some corners it's overtaking, but some other corners you can't overtake at all, which is yes.
All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss the FIA Formula 2 Championship weekend at Sochi for week 10 of a 12 weekend season.
Yeah.
The race at of course the feature race, the top 10 get championship points. In the sprint race, the top 8 get points. The feature race was won by Mick Schumacher, son of the 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher. Yuki Tsunoda with the pole position finished second. Callum Ilott third. Luca Giotto fourth. Jan Jarova fifth. Jack Eichen 6th. Nikita Mazepin 7th. Guan Yu Zhou 8th. Marcus Armstrong 9th. And Dan Ticktum, who had the fastest lap point, finished in 10th. And let's talk about the sprint race.
Race. Yeah, it was.
It was just one of those reality checks that we've had in motorsports.
Yeah, which in the sprint race, the race was originally scheduled to be 21 laps because it's always about 7-8 laps shorter than the feature. The race was ended on lap number 5. This reason is Jack Aitken and Luca Giotto were side by side for 4th until Aitken and Giotto's tires hit each other's. The tires hit and they spun, and because if people don't know how the walls look in the curve, you know that curve after turn, where turn 1 is, that curve, basically that corner has those like rubber barriers. I don't know what to call it. It's like that material. Those cars ended up going through and inside of it. Literally, which Giotto and Aitken did walk away from it. Aitken's car was stuck inside, like the car was between both the barriers, while Giotto's car was kind of sticking out, and Giotto's car did catch on fire, which they had to literally move some of the barriers, and the barriers did get moved a little bit. They had to move the barriers out to get the cars out. And this resulted with a red flag, and the race was completed on lap 5 because they go back 2 laps. The reason of this was because of the wall was moved, which those walls...
And they had a time limit as well.
It's 1 hour limit in the F2, if people don't understand that, because of time restraints they want to finish it way before the F1 race to prepare the track. They literally pulled out the cars and had to fix the barrier, which that took a while because those barriers, it's not like a foam barrier, it's like a kind of rubber material. And when it moves, it's going to be, you got to use like tractors and all that to put it back. So that's why they ended the race on lap number 5.
Guan Yu Zhou took the win over Nikita Mazepin. The fastest lap goes to Mazepin. Mick Schumacher third, Jack Eichen, Luca Giotto 4th and 5th. We'll get into why that is.
Yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda, pole sitter 6th. Callum Ilott, Dan Ticktum 7th and 8th. Now, the reason why the 2 cars that crashed, Giotto and Eichen were scored 4th and 5th is because FIA rules, when a red flag is displayed, the order classification goes to the last scored completed lap, the last completed lap.
Which was lap number 4. and they were 4th and 5th on those. But they still, instead of saying running, because they crashed out, it says DNF, but they've still finished 4th and 5th. But
both drivers, most importantly, were okay. They walked out.
Yeah, and also people didn't get the full points because it was they only completed 5 laps. Yeah, so even though even 8th place got a point, and the person 7 usually gets 2 points in the sprint race, he got only 1 also. Yeah. So instead of getting maximum points for not Sonoda, for Guan Yu Zhou, he got 15 points instead. He basically, you get half points.
All right. So let's get into the FIA Formula 2 Drivers' Championship. It is indeed Mick Schumacher pulling away. He's got 191 points. Callum Ilott, 169 points in second. Third place, Christian Lundgaard is fourth with 145 points and tied with fifth and sixth with 140 points. The two Russian drivers, Robert Schwartzman and Nikita Mazepin, having at their home track. Yeah. Louis Deltraz to take a hit in points. He's at seventh as we speak. And let's move over to the team's championship. It remains Prema Racing with 331 points over Unai Virtuosi Racing, 288.5 points in second. High Tech Grand Prix third, 244 points. Art Grand Prix fourth, and Carlin fifth. They are tied at 183 points.
Yeah.
They're going to get a break. Actually, a long break.
Yeah, 59 days. They'll be running. Their final two races are at the Bahrain, which they running the regular Bahrain circuit, and then the outer circuit, they call it for. Yeah, that's their final two races, round 11 and round 12, which is, they're not running Abu Dhabi this year. 28. Yeah, so they're running, because they always have 12 rounds, 24 races in their season.
So with that said, let's go ahead and get into supercars. The Virgin Australia Supercars are soon to be known as the Repco Supercars Championship. Their final pre-Bathurst round of the season. Race at the Bend, at Thailand Bend for the second week in a row. The Bend Super Sprint, this time part 2. And at a different version of the Bend.
Yeah.
That track used the West layout, as they call it.
Okay. Not the full layout like that one that the Asian Le Mans series ran with 38 corners. Yeah.
Around they used just the usual layout. Race 1. So as for the week, it was week 10 of 11 and rounds. It was race 28, 29, 30 of 31. So we'll start with race 28. It was I guess it was uneventful, to say the least. Scott McLaughlin picked it up, a typical Scott McLaughlin win, leading 17 laps. Car 17 started P1. McLaughlin in that race clinched for the Manufacturers Championship in the Supercars season for 2020.
Yeah, Ford. Yeah, Fords.
Yep. Shane Van Gisbergen led 9 laps, started third, picked up his 116th career podium and the fastest lap of the race. Went to Shane Van Gisbergen. Cam Waters had a brilliant weekend. We're going to talk about Cam Waters in a little bit. His 16th career podium. Cam Waters, Anton De Pasquale 5th, and Nick Percat, who led 5 laps for Brett Jones Racing, finished 6th.
Jeez.
Race 2 was much more eventful than race 1.
Yeah.
Race 2, a lot of chaos. Scott McLaughlin.
The Scott McLaughlin series.
Yeah, this when basically clinched him the championship. Actually, no, it didn't clinch him the championship. It was not. It put him 290 in the lead, which he needed at least 300 points to clinch. So 299 was enough for McLaughlin. Well, almost enough. He easily clinched it in race 3.
But
his 56th career win.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah. Scott McLaughlin, what? His points. Yeah, Scott McLaughlin won again, which was pretty normal. Pretty normal. Like, he wins many races, which I knew he was going to have a win, even at a track they've been at again. I knew he was going to have a chance of winning races. Like, oh, update. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Update, guys. Joseph's internet is down. So I'm here by myself now. Okay, Joseph's going to be 1 sec, but... Okay, so... Race 2, let me... look on my phone for the results to finish this. Okay, so McLaughlin, he led 14 laps, won. Antoine De Pascal second. Cameron Waters third. James Courtney fourth. Shane Van Gisbergen fifth, led 3 laps. Nick Percat sixth, led a lap. Jamie Whincup 7, he led 3 laps. Chaz Monster 8, Rick Kelly 9th, and Andre Heimgartner got 10th. And for race number 3, Cam Waters won his first race without a co-driver, which is good. He led 19 laps. Scott McLaughlin second, Jamie Whincup third, Nick Percat fourth, he led a lap. Shane Van Gisbergen fifth, led 3 laps. Chaz Monster sixth, he led 7 laps. Todd Hazelwood 7th, Fabian Coulthard 8th, Lee Holdsworth 9th, and James Courtney finishes 10th. And who led? Scott Pye led 2 laps, and that would finish in race number 3. Scott McLaughlin did clinch his title, his 3rd title in a row. He going in the Bathurst, the championship is confirmed. Scott McLaughlin leads Jamie Whincup by 305 points. Cam Waters third, 505 back. Shane Van Gisbergen fourth, 559, and Chaz Mostert rounds out the top 5, 654 points. They'll be back on October 18th to 17th to 18th at the Bathurst circuit for the Bathurst 1000. Yeah, Bathurst will be the next race for the Supercars season. Just trying to pull up. I'm just waiting, see if Joseph wants me to continue. I got my phone here just in case. Okay, by the way, Joseph's internet connection failed, so it's me. So I don't know. I'm the only one here, so basically, I don't know how the podcast is going to end. If Joseph's connection could come back, it'll be good. So yeah, we've had different races also. So we had 2 sports car races. We had 2 of them this weekend that we had. I'll start with the race that was on. This race was yesterday. The Acura Sports Car Challenge at Mid Ohio was round number 7 of the season, and the Acura number 7, driven by Helio Castroneves, won after leading 37 laps over the number 31 Wendland Engineering Racing Cadillac of Philippe Nasser and Pippo Derani led 15 laps, finished second. Ranger Van der Zandy and Ryan Briscoe finished third, led 2 laps. Jonathan Bomarito's Mazda Motorsports number 55 finished fourth. On the fifth place, the 77 Mazda Motorsports DPI finished fifth. And then in the GTLM cars, there was only 4, so I'll list them all here. In GTLM, the number 3 Corvette Racing, driven by Jordan Taylor and Antonio Garcia, won over the number 4 Corvette of Oliver Gavin and Tommy Milner. And then the 2 BMWs, the 25 of Connor DeFilippi and Bruno Spengler, and then the 24 of John Edwards and Jesse Krohn, because the number 911 and 912 Porsches withdrew their cars from the race due to the reason they withdrew from the event. They withdrew because of some of their drivers were at the race at Nürburgring and they wanted to keep the equipment and all that. So, okay, Joseph setting his PC. Okay. Then we had the GTD class, which Jack Hawksworth won in the GT Daytona class over Jack Hawksworth. Aaron Telitz won over the 74 Mercedes of Los Naschenbeck. Gar Robinson. Third in class was Ryan Hardwick and Patrick Long's Wright Motorsports Porsche. Fourth was the number 23 Hartman Racing Team, driven by Ian James and Roman DeAngelis. And fifth place was the number 86 Meyershank Racing with Kurt Bagajani and Acura, driven by Mario Farnbacher and Matt McMurray. And the next race will be at the Charlotte Roval on the weekend of October 9th to the 11th in 2 weeks. And we get here to the biggest sports car event. This was the ADAC 24 Hours of Nürburgring. This race was held this weekend due to the pandemic, which it was an interesting race for Nürburgring. The winner in the class, which was the SP9 class, was the fastest class overall. Road Racing, number 99, driven by Alexander Sims, Nicky Katzberg, and Nick Yellowy, won, which is a good win for the BMW team over the number 3 Audi Sport team, driven by Mirko Bortolotti, Christopher Haase, and Marcus Winkelhock. Third was the number 42 BMW team Schnitzer, BMW, driven by Augusto Farfus, Jens Klingman, Martin Tomazik, and Sheldon van der Linde. Then we have the number Road Racing, number 98, the sister car of the number 99, finished fourth with Marco Whitman, Tom Blomqvist, and Philippe Eng. Fifth was the number 1 Audi Sport team, which after the Mercedes, they had issues in the race, the Mercedes cars. That gave advantage to the Audi number 1, and the Audi number 1 had issues, so they... Oh, okay, you're back.
It was my computer.
Oh.
It failed. I'm back.
Okay.
Nürburgring, it was...
Yeah, I already talked about IMSA because I'm like, IMSA's going to be shorter. I basically just gave... Yeah, IMSA was shorter.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. We had technology.
Yeah, technology. Yeah, technology
sucks.
Yeah, it's like the last time when my computer basically crashed on me twice during the last couple weeks ago. But everything's good now.
Right.
Yeah.
24 Hours of Nürburgring had a lot of interesting moments, Justin, when we saw the Mercedes early in the race making some errors.
Yeah, and the rain that put the red flag for many hours. Oh, there was so much going on at Nürburgring during that race. There's so much going on.
Yeah, a lot happened for sure. But Row Racing picked up a very big win. If you go back 3 years ago in May during Memorial Day weekend, Nicky Casper drove that car to nearly a win, and then all of a sudden it started raining at one point in the Nordschleife where you needed those slick tires, and then all of a sudden the whole Nordschleife was getting rained on, which allowed the 29 Land Motorsport Audi team to win that race. But in the end, it was definitely a big deal for it's my internet. This time it's Justin. It's not. I think who's getting plagued this time? Is it Justin or is it me? We're going to continue on. But once again, the 99 Row Racing Audi, Porsche, BMW won the race. And here I am by myself because technology is trash. What's very interesting about the Nürburgring 24 hours this year was that in the start of the race, before the red flag, Mercedes had their game plan. They pulled away. Despite the wet weather conditions, they had the better car. And then that mistake happened by the number 6 Mercedes that had, not the 6 Mercedes, it was the number 2 Mercedes that had the shunt entering the slow zone, which opened the door for the Audis, and then the red flag happened. The red flag came out about 6 hours in the race, and it resulted in a 7-hour red flag until 7 a.m. local time. The race restarted like usual, and basically in the end, they had it was a whole new ball game, except the cars weren't clean and shiny like when they are put on the grid. And the Audis probably would have won had the race not be red flag due to fog and rain. But because the red flag happened, teams were able to get a rest, and BMW with that brought a new game plan. BMW essentially waited to execute this because Row Racing, they waited. Philip Eng was actually listed to drive the car as a 4th driver. His time was taken out of the stint as a result of the red flag. He never drove that car, even though he's kind of listed there, somewhat not listed as the winning team. Nick Yellowly had the fastest lap times in that car. Given to Alexander Sims, they maintained pace. The weather changed in time when Nicky Katzberg drove the car and thus ended up winning the race. Audi Sport had issues in the wet weather conditions where they go in the grass. I know the one car made a few mistakes when Marco Bortolotti, actually not, that was the 3 that made some mistakes. The one made a few mistakes when Dries Vanthoor drove the car. Nonetheless, they managed to bring the number 3 towards the podium. We're going to get Justin on. He's having technology problems no less than I am, and I think we'll get Justin on. He should be using his phone or his computer.
I'm back. computer just want to. Why is technology being? Yeah, technology. But I'm here.
Good.
Yeah.
So, with that said, I mentioned how Audi could have won this race, or maybe had a chance to pull away had the race not be red flagged. Now, the Nürburgring 24 Hours does have a history of the race being red flagged.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does have a history of being red flagged. There's many different reasons why. Rain, I've seen different reasons why.
It was really foggy. The track was just it was bipolar. We saw Lisa on the track. I mean, that race is supposed to be ran in the summer.
Yeah, it was it was supposed to be the week after the original Le Mans date in June.
Right. They did manage to keep the weeks consistent, so I think that's a big credit. I think that there's a lot of credit needs to be owed to the ADAC on making that happen.
Like in 2018, it was heavy fog. Like, I'm just looking through. Heavy rain, fog, and hail in 2016. Like I'm literally just looking. Red flags due to rain in 2013. Just looking to see if there's...
Yes, 9 hours long was that red flag.
Race stopped for about 6 hours due to fog in 2007. Like, there's just so many...
It just happens. It's a part of racing. You get unpredictability, and it's 2020. I put in the title, 2020 throws curveballs at motorsports. Everyone, drivers, teams, team owners, mechanics, everybody feels the effects of 2020.
It's like so interesting about Nürburgring also does different other things, like one of the in 1996, it was the first female driver to win at Nürburgring. Sabine Schmitz. Yes. She's the only. Yeah. And that person, she also won in 97.
Yeah. The Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
But let's get into this year's results. As you mentioned, the top 5. It was the 99 Row Racing BMW. The 3 Audi finished second. It was the number 40 Team Schnitzer BMW. The entry that had Martin Tomczyk, Augusto Farfus, Sheldon van der Linde, the brother of Kelvin in the race, the young South African driver, outperforming his brother. I think it's the first time it's happened that Sheldon outperformed Kelvin in the ring. And Jens Kligman we're in that car. Philip Eng did drive the 98. He was late in the 99, but his stint was pretty much washed out.
Yeah.
The 1 Audi finished 5th.
Yeah.
Rounding out the top 10 overall, the Frickadelli Racing, actually, it was the 29 Team Land Audi that finished 6th. The Frickadelli Racing Team Porsche 7th. The Mercedes AMG Team HRT finished 8th and 9th, and the Falcon Motorsports Porsche entry finished 10th. Now, mind you, the Porsches didn't have it easy at all entering this.
No, they did not.
And because of a team outbreak of, COVID-19,
yep,
Porsche withdrew not only from Mid-Ohio, but from taking their team out of Mid-Ohio altogether, and then not bringing pretty much the majority of their factory drivers to the 24 hours of Nürburgring.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm going to just leave my camera off for the rest of the podcast because I've had enough connection problems tonight, and I don't think we have energy for another one.
Yeah, because... Well, I don't want to be here all by myself previewing races, and it's only, I don't want to, hopefully, we don't want any more problems tonight.
Without further ado, let's get into some. Let's get into the other class winners. I forgot to mention there was another class. They had, I think, there were about 20 of them.
Yeah, there were so many classes. Even with only 97 cars, there were still many classes.
Yeah, last year we had 160 cars overall.
Yeah, yeah. This year, because pandemic-related issues, they couldn't have 160 cars, so that's why they decide to. Yeah, because some teams couldn't enter due to the pandemic and the restrictions and all that.
Without further ado, I'm just going to take a while energies here. So the SPX class was only one car this year. It was the number 704 Scuderia Camp and Glickenhaus SCG entry, the unique car winning in 2020. For their class, it was just the only car that ran this year. And let's move on to the SP8T class. It was the number 73 Walking Horse Motorsport BMW M4 GT4. That car, I actually got to bring up the timing 71. The tech gods don't like us. It's like post-race inspection.
Yeah.
Fail inspection to get disqualified, or just
but
in this case, technology. Just
technology's not liking us tonight.
No. All right. Yeah. So that SCG finished 14th overall. The 73 Walking Horse car finished 21st overall. 22nd overall was the number 170 Honda Civic touring car, driven by Tiago Montero, the driver who was best known for being the only happy man in one of the most controversial Formula One Grand Prix of all time, if not the most controversial, the 2005 U.S. Grand Prix. He stepped on the podium, and he won for the TCR class in the Honda Civic crew. Black Falcon, number 35 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, won the SP Pro class. Cup X was won by the Teichmann Racing KTM Crossbow, number 111. Hofer Racing, Monk Motorsport BMW won the SP10 class. SP7 class was won by the number 65 Hubert Motorsport Porsche, 31st overall. The number 65, I mentioned that, it's the number 306 Black Falcon won the Cup 3 class. The CAD Cup 5 class was won by the number 240 Pixum CFN Team Adrenaline BMW M240i. V2T class, number 330 Pixum CFN Team Adrenaline. Same team. They went 2 classes in the Nürburgring 24 hours. And that car was a BMW 330i G20. The V3T class was won by number 85. And actually, V3T and V6 were both won by the same team in 2 different cars. Team Athol Racing EV Porsche Caymans. The 718 Cayman won the number 85, won the V3T. The number 132 car won in the V6 class.
Yeah.
That car was a different Porsche Cayman as well. The SP4 class won by the number 86 Porsche Cayman 718 GTS. The V4 class won by number 149 BMW E90 325i. The SP3 class won by the number 120 Toyota Gazoo Racing Team Thailand, Toyota Corolla Altis. The BMW M2 CS1 make class, so all the cars were the same spec. The same car won by the number 39 MSC Racing,
Yeah.
Kevin Sport Racing, BMW M2. 2 more classes. The SP8 class was a number 53. Guinea Tire Motorsport Audi.
Yeah.
LMS GT4. And lastly, the SP4 class winner was the number 106 Goodyear Slogagon EV BMW 325. So there you have it. As for the overall win, we saw intensity, just so much drama during the race, and just 2020 things happening. The red flag and just little mistakes by some of the best sports car drivers in the world, and the virus ruining factory drivers from racing in Porsche.
And like the red flag, the mistakes by the Mercedes and BMW winning, and it was so interesting.
Now, as for BMW, they're the winningest manufacturer in the 24 hours of Nürburgring. Their 20th win of all time.
Wow.
No other team or no other manufacturer can live up to BMW's numbers. But hear me out. This is their first win at the Nürburgring in 10 years since 2010.
Yeah, it's been a while. That team.
With the old M3 GT2 car was a thing.
Yeah.
So that said, and as you mentioned, the IMSA WeatherTech Championship, it was all
Acura, Penske, and Montoya did kind of mess up, running third, spun, and he DNF'd. Which, when I saw the spin, I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't expect Montoya to make that mistake, and he did it.
Shows you, even the best can make mistakes. GTLM was won by the Corvettes, and as we mentioned earlier, the Porsche crisis resulted in both the 912 and 911 entries being out of the GTLM class. Only 4 cars raced. Yeah,
the Corvettes and the BMWs.
GTD was the 14A Master Sullivan Lexus. Raleigh Motorsport, number 74 Mercedes, finished second. The Wright Motorsports Porsche third. Yeah, the Aston Martin number 23, Heart of Racing Team fourth, and Heinrecher Racing, Meyershank Racing
number 86.
Fifth, number 86 in the NSX. Yeah. So the Charlotte Grand Prix is coming in 2 weeks.
Yep.
It'll be part of the NASCAR weekend. The GT classes will run the Roval. Now, it's not the first time that
they've run.
Racing has happened at the Charlotte Road Course. It's happened before.
Yeah, but this chicane they have on the back straightaway is not like the older chicanes, there, they had I don't know who at church like, oh, this chicane works. It literally was just little tires that people ran into the tires more than, so this current chicane that you have to slow down, not like the one, it's not like the Roval people think there's never been modifications. But even before the first race, there was an actual. Remember, during the test session, they had the Roval in 2018. They had 2. Remember they had one turn like that after you get off before the banking. There was usually one loop. There's the current one loop. There was 2 loops, but the other loop was so bad they took it off because cars would spin there too many times. So they had one loop, but this is perfect for the
backstretch chicane has gone through many surgeries. And
I've seen.
I say it like that because they never really had a good chicane until last year. I think they're going to stick with that chicane for a long time.
Yeah. Compared to the first chicane for the NASCAR series, the chicane that you could go fast, really fast. With the turtles that cars would get destroyed. I remember Eric Jones's car.
I remember SCCA and ALMS had a chicane on the backstretch where you could hardly go one wide through it.
Yeah, and some of the chicanes were literally just tires that were just putting tires there. I'm like, that's not going to work. Yeah.
9 out of 10 chance those tires would get knocked over by a car.
Yeah, that's why
coming in there too hot in the corner.
Yeah, that's why the current chicane works out better. Oh, Tampa just scored.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, it's one.
Game on NBC.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, one. Yeah, Tampa Bay 1-0.
Yes, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Thanks for telling me, bud. All right, let's go ahead and move along and talk about the MotoGP. We'll get into MotoGP. We'll talk some ARCA, the modified tour, before we preview events. Starting with the MotoGP, the Gran Premio Catalunya, the Catalan Grand Prix this year. I'm just trying to have everything all out of order. If you guys,
Well, what happened?
Technology.
Yeah, and I even still have to type all the. I still have to type all the modified point standings. I still have stuff to do with that.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Yeah.
So, Fabio Quartararo lost the points lead last race. He has it now and ended up winning a very important race in the Catalan Grand Prix. Yeah. Quartararo also had the fastest lap, 25 points for the Frenchman. And the Spaniards didn't have it so easy this time. Joan Mir finished second. Alex Rins third. Franco Morbidelli did get pole position. He only finished fourth. Jack Miller fifth. Francesco Bagnaia sixth. Takaki Nakagami seventh. And I'm just going to name all the points finishers. Daniele Petrucci, Maverick Vinales, Cal Crutchlow, Brad Binder, Alex Espargaro, Alex Marquez, Iker Lecuona, and Tito Rabat were the 15 riders that finished in classified positions that got points. Unfortunately for Valentino Rossi, that 200th career podium will have to wait. He had a stunning accident and luckily walked away when it happened. He was in a spot to get that podium, the most experienced rider in MotoGP history and one of the greatest of all time. We'll have to wait another day for that 200th podium. Yeah. So the World Riders Championship standings is very close. It's awfully close.
Yeah.
Quartararo has an 8-point lead. 8-point lead over John Mir. Maverick Vinales third. His 9th place finished and doing many favors.
Yeah.
Vinales with 9 points, but it's Andrea Dovizioso. 4th, 84 points. Franco Morbidelli.
Yeah.
5th, 77 points. The team's championship.
Yeah.
Petronas Yamaha SRT, 185 points. That's about 25 points over compared to Team Suzuki X-Star.
Yeah.
60 points. Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP, 3rd, 148 points. Mission Winnow Ducati team, 4th with 123 points. And Pramac Racing with 118 points in 5th.
Yeah.
Manufacturer standings. Yamaha, 163 points. They have won all but 3 races this year. Ducati has only 1 win this season. They're second with 126 points. Suzuki 3rd, 113 points. KTM 4th, 109 points. Honda 5th with 72 points. And Aprilia 6th with 30 points for the manufacturer standings. And they will get a week off. They'll be back in 2 weeks' time at Le Mans at the shortened Bugatti circuit for the French Grand Prix, round 9 to 14 on October 11th. All right.
Yeah.
So you want to talk some modifieds?
Modified tour ran at Stafford Motor Speedway for the Napa Auto Parts 150. It was Ron Silk. He ended up winning. again, which Ron Silke is a good modified driver, really doing good this season in the modified tour, which he led.
He led 79 laps in that race.
Yeah, really good leading laps.
Doug Coby finished second. Now, Doug Coby.
Yeah.
Fell short. Justin Bonsignor picked up important points getting those laps led. 21 laps led for Bonsignor. Finished third. Max McLaughlin, son of Mike McLaughlin.
His first modified start. This first start in the Whelen Modified Tour, and he got a good finish, P4, which is really good for that Mike Curb team.
Chase Dowling finished fifth after leading 14 laps. Retiring in 19th place out of the race was Woody Pitcat, who led 31 laps in the event.
Yeah, but also in that event, the pole sitter, Eric Goodale, who started on the pole position, he actually ended up out of the race on lap 117 in an accident, and he started on the pole, which modified points is currently, they only have one more race left this season, I think. Thompson's the next race.
Yes, Thompson.
And it's 27 points between Bonsignor and Coby.
That will settle the 2020 Whelen Modified Tour Championship.
Yeah,
the final race of the season on October 11th. So they'll get a week off. Let's go ahead and move on and talk some ARCA. We'll get into the ARCA Menard Series of round 18 of 20 at the Memphis International Raceway. A decent track. One that I hope gets another Xfinity and Truck Series.
Hopefully they
schedule for next year.
We'll see. I know the schedule will be released later this year.
Last time they were in was 2009. Well, for those as far as Xfinity and trucks are concerned, but as for ARCA, there was a race. Ty Gibbs, the grandson of Joe Gibbs, led 58 laps on route to win. Sam Mayer finished second. Brett Holmes led 135 laps, had a very important third place finish. Tad Moffitt finishing fourth for the DGR Crosley Racing Team. The Bo LaMasta Century, Chandler Smith finished fifth and in eighth place after leading 7 laps. Drew Dollar. So the point standings with just 2 races left. It seems like 2 drivers have it in hand. 1 point separates Brett Holmes from Michael Self. Haley Deegan is third. She's 63 points behind them. And fourth, Drew Dollar, minus 82. And fifth, Ty Gibbs.
But Ty Gibbs is part-time, so he has no shot. But also, there was another championship that ended. The Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge.
Yes, thanks for reminding me.
That was won by Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer won that championship by only 5 points over Ty Gibbs. Third was Michael Self. He finished 22 points behind. Brett Holmes, fourth, 23 points back. And then fifth place was Chandler Smith, 30 points behind in that title. Then you had Haley Deegan, 6th, Taylor Gray, 7th, Drew Dollar, 8th, Mike Basham, 9th, and Tim Richmond, 10th. Those were short track races.
They'll return this weekend for a dirt track race. It should be fun. How about this? A dirt track race in a speedway will determine the ARCA Menard Series champion for 2020.
Yeah,
around 19 and 20 in Illinois State Fairgrounds. 2 weeks from now, we'll have Kansas Speedway, and that'll be the end of the 2020 ARCA Menard Series.
Yeah, which MAV TV will obviously air the dirt race, but Kansas is FS1 or FS2. It's unknown because the changes with Kansas, with races being pushed to a date, or like the truck race getting pushed to Saturday and all that. It's going to be interesting for Illinois State Fairgrounds for the only dirt race this season in the ARCA series.
All right, let's move on. We have one more ARCA race to discuss, and then we'll get into the race previews. That was the General Tire 150, the ARCA Menard Series West at the Bullring Short Track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for round 8 of 11. Gracie Trotter for Bill McAnally Racing picked up her first career win after leading 95 laps, car 99, over teammates Gio Scalzi and Jesse Love. Jesse Love led 41 laps from the pole. Kyle Keller, how about local driver Kyle Keller, who had Las Vegas Rentals as a sponsor on the car, finished 4th. Todd Souza, the veteran, rounded out the top 5. There were only 12 cars in the race, so I'm just naming them down. Takuma Koga finished 6th. Bridget Burgess, so only 6 cars were on the lead lap. Bridget Burgess finished 7th, 2 laps down. Bobby Hillis Jr. finished 8th. Holly Holland finished 9th. Blaine Perkins finished 10th and are out of the race for the last 3 drivers. Blaine Perkins, Joey Eist, and Trevor Huddleston. Huddleston led 14 laps in the race.
And also, I want to say about Joey Eist. He started 2nd in the race and running their most race. And mind you, he's in an uncompetitive car, like a car that's not like factory supported. He was running 2nd for most of the race until ignition failed on the restart, which is really unfortunate. Like, he was running so good. He was running really good. Like, he had a good car. Like, he was running 2nd and running fast laps compared to some of the Bill McAnally cars had slower laps. Like, which is impressive for a car that's not fully supported like Bill McAnally Racing. Like, I was impressed with his run at the Bullring on Saturday.
So was I. Also, Gracie Trotter's win puts her the 2nd female to win in the West Series. But as for an ARCA sanction race in modern era, she is the first female to get the win.
Yep.
In the championship standings now, there are 3 races remaining.
Yeah.
Just 3 races, and pretty much nearly a month separates today from that event.
Oh,
I have it here. Yeah, the next race is at Roseville, California.
Yeah.
At the All-American Speedway. But Jesse Love remains on top. 405 points at 16 points over Blaine Perkins. Gracie Trotter, 3rd, minus 31. In 3rd, 374 points. Gio Scalzi is 4th, 361 points, minus 44. Trevor Huddleston is 5th, minus 51 points. He has 354 points this season. So, yep, championships are about to be awarded and decided, or for some drivers lost. In the foreseeable future, these next few weeks will be intense for the ARCA series in October. But with that said, let's finally get into some race previews. We're going to start off with some NASCAR. We'll talk the Cup Series, Talladega. We'll get into the NASCAR Xfinity Series and in their middle race of their round of 12. As far as the Cup Series, the middle race of the round of 12. Truck Series, the closing race of the round of 10 at Talladega. IndyCar will have a doubleheader at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Harvest Grand Prix, and sports cars racing at Indy, the 8 hours of Indianapolis for the Intercontinental GT Challenge as their 2nd of 4 races of the 2020 championship. Well, let's get started with NASCAR at Talladega for the 2nd of 3 races in the round of 12. Round of 12, as I believe, has to be the trickiest round of the playoffs due to the variety of racetracks, going from the Speedway, the intermediate oval at Las Vegas, to 2.6 miles at Talladega. It's a 500-mile race, and how unpredictable it is over there. And then the road course dubbed Roval at Charlotte, the third ever running of the Roval race. So we're just gonna have to. We saw what happened at Vegas. There was not really a dominant car, but Talladega is a wild card. Just who knows what's going to happen. Let's just get into some of the fun facts of this event. Last year and this year were won by Ryan Blaney. Can he go 3 for 3 since fall of 2019? Who knows? First race was won by an underdog, Richard Brickhouse in 1969, one of the most controversial races in NASCAR history.
And that race, we still don't know if he actually won. The Ray Fox team, they still think they won. We don't know who won because there was no timing and scoring like the current live timing. Even in 1990,
and let's not forget the walkout that happened by NASCAR's best drivers. It's essentially the 2005 U.S. Grand Prix, but with replacement drivers. They actually brought in cars from the sportsman division. You can go on and on about NASCAR history.
But the sportsman
that's
division.
How Richard Brickhouse won.
Yeah, but interesting. One of the sportsman division cars beat Bobby Isaac. Actually got beaten by one of those cars, which was interesting. One of those cars got third, and Bobby Isaac got fourth, which was interesting. I guess he was so laid back in the race that he got passed by a slower car.
Check out slap shoes on YouTube for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 and shoes with a number 0.
Yeah.
It'll come up even if you type it the normal way.
Yeah.
That's how Richard Brickhouse won the first race in 1969. As for most wins, it's Earnhardt country. Dale Earnhardt has the most wins at 10. This is the 20-year anniversary of his final win, that 76 career win at Talladega in 2000.
Yeah, that race where remember him and Kenny Wallace were 18th? They drafted from back there to win. It was so impressive how Dale Earnhardt did that.
Yep. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon have 6 wins here. Brad Keselowski is the winningest active driver at Talladega, 5 wins here. He's going to need that 6th win more than ever this coming Sunday. Bobby Allison, Buddy Baker, Darrell Waltrip, they have 4 victories here. Davey Allison, Joey Logano, David Pearson, Cale Yarbrough have 3 wins. Donnie Allison, Ryan Blaney, Clint Boyer, Bill Elliott, Pete Hamilton, Ernie Irvin, Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Johnson, Terry Labonte, and Sterling Marlin have 2 wins at Talladega. Oh, let's not forget Richard Petty, Mark Martin, Jamie McMurray, 2 wins. Yes, Richard Petty only has 2 wins at this track. Talladega never really favored Richard Petty as it did to other drivers.
Yeah.
As for team wins for the fall race, that is for the fall race at Talladega, the teams that have won here more than any other. Richard Childress Racing has won 8 times in the fall race. I wonder who those wins have come from. It's probably Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Team Penske 5 victories, as well as Hendrick Motorsports. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated 4 wins. 3 wins from Junior Johnson and Associates, and these teams have 2 wins. Petty Enterprises, Bud Moore Engineering, Rainier Lundy, Morgan McClure Motorsports, Robert Yates Racing, and Roush Fenway Racing. And yes, Robert Yates Racing, Dale Jarrett, that 2005 race was the site of Dale Jarrett's final NASCAR Cup Series victory. Manufacturer victories in the falls, as far as the fall race is concerned, Chevrolet, more wins than any other brand, 21, Ford with 16, Dodge, Mercury, Buick, 3 wins, Plymouth and Olds with 2 wins, and Toyota with 1. It's just like throwing stats, stats are cool. Who's going to win this year?
Okay. Oh, jeez.
what kind of race are we going to have at Talladega?
I just don't know, because last time we came to Talladega, everybody said, "Oh, it's gonna be a wreck fest." It was not even close to being a wreck fest. Like, it's gonna be interesting. There'll be possibly two aggressive moves towards the end, because people are racing for a championship, and we'll do anything basically to win the championship. Okay, I got my pick. This driver is a non-playoff driver. He's gonna spoil a playoff driver's hopes of getting to the next round. This driver, in his stats, he's run 10 races, one top 5, one top 10 and 5 top 20s, but he has been doing good at these play tracks, including getting a top 5 at Daytona. And this driver, he drives a Ford. He drives for Roush Fenway Racing, driver the number 17. Chris Buescher is going to win at Talladega. Yeah, he's going to do like Stenhouse did. But he's not going to be doing the aggressive moves like Stenhouse did. He's not going to do that.
I picked Stenhouse to win the race in June. He almost won.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Just a hair length away from winning at Talladega for the second time in his career.
Oh, Ian would have been mad seeing Blaney lose to Stenhouse. Oh, jeez. I just realized that would have not been good.
Nonetheless, the driver I have winning has not won a cup race since 2017, and this track has been the site twice for him nearly winning since that race in 2017, including last year and 2017, and of course, as we all know, survived a horrifying crash at the end of the Daytona 500. Ryan Newman is going to win at Talladega. I think it's going to...
So we basically picked Roush. We picked Roush.
They have to win.
And Roush has been, like, at plate tracks. Roush is just there at the plate tracks.
But let's go with some other names here. What about Brendan Gaughan?
Brendan Gaughan, yeah. Last year, I remember he was up there until Kyle and Kurt crashed, and he was he flipped upside down
in the air.
Yeah, and I remember. Oh my gosh! I just remembered my video from last year. We remember the Skype call reactions that we were screen calling, and Austin's reaction. Oh my gosh! Because he had his camera on. Oh my goodness! That was
brilliant.
Yeah, I remember everybody started losing it. Like, that wreck was so massive. I'm like, I remember they were going about over 200 miles an hour. They were all aggressive with 7 laps left.
Yeah, that wreck was caused by the Busch brothers.
Yeah, they made contact, and Kyle spun, and then Kurt
can't afford that.
And Kurt got in the Gaughan that flipped them upside down. I'm like,
on some of the other wrecks, we saw some aggressive pushing. Clint Boyer into Joey Logano and Alex Bowman.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And how Bowman's car went straight up the racetrack. It shows you how slim, very slim of a chance you have of avoiding the big wreck, as they call the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, because of
20 cars or more being taken out.
Yeah, because of Talladega. Like, I remember.
Go back to 2012.
Oh yeah, the wreck that Casey Mears and Michael Waltrip were up there, and then Tony Stewart came down on the big one, and then Tony
Stewart.
Oh, he almost fully flipped over.
That actually led to another concussion in Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s career.
Oh yeah,
he was sidelined as a result.
I remember the hit
on the race.
I remember Casey Kane had a hard hit, and boy, I remember Dale Jr. He also had a hard hit. Because there were so many, because he was 4 wide, not in the middle. He was like 2 cars were on his inside, 1 on the outside. I remember on those final laps, TJ Majors like 2 inside, 1 outside. I'm like, oh my goodness. and then I remember Dale Jr. Jimmy Johnson's car stopped at
Speaking of Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson, they tangled in 2006, which resulted in the first of 3 wins in Brian Vickers' career. Now, mind you, Brian Vickers won 3 times for 3 different teams in his career.
Well, he won twice.
And they happened 6 years apart in each of those races. In each of those wins. Actually, 3 years apart in each of those wins, I think.
2006, 2009, 2013. That was 3, 3, and 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got me there.
I just realized Vickers' last 2 wins were in Toyotas, but in 2006 he was in a Chevrolet.
2 of those 3 wins that Vickers had are for teams that are no longer in NASCAR.
Oh yeah, Michael Waltrip
Racing, which of course, F1 and Michael Waltrip Racing.
Yeah, which Red Bull gave it to their equipment to BK, which BK Racing was
whole saga there.
And Michael Waltrip, you know what happened 2013 at Richmond, that deal, and then they shut down after 2015.
Right. But let's fast forward to this year. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers coming and going, staying reserved in the back or charging to the front.
Yeah.
We might see freight train racing. Freight train racing basically means cars staying calm in a line.
Yeah, like
all it takes is one car to get too much momentum and
like
the game over.
Like in the first stage, you don't need to be aggressive on the first lap of the race. Like it's like, why be aggressive on the first lap? Like if you need stage points at the end of the stage, be aggressive on lap 1. You don't need to be aggressive on the first lap.
If your names are Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Cliff Boyer, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon,
they need
no reason to be in the back losing stage points. I think we're going to see aggressive racing for stage 1 and stage 2.
But not early. Like towards the end, I would say. Not like if they're already aggressive racing on lap 2, there's a problem because lap 2 is not
early in the race. Maybe not lap 2, but maybe lap 35.
But then the final stage, that's where people want to be at the right time in the right position. Because if you're in the middle of the pack, like you could have a wreck at the front of the pack, the back, the middle. You don't want to be in those big ones. Because the big ones, people say, oh, the big ones, it's not bad to avoid. It's quite hard to avoid a big one.
It's all luck.
Yeah, sometimes you get run into by other cars, or
sometimes you have to spin out to avoid a car.
Or sometimes cars just land on top of you, like Kurt Busch on top of Ryan Newman in 2013, and Ryan Newman, or 2009, Ryan Newman's back of Newman's car landed on top of Kevin Harvick's car, which
is how Brad Keselowski won his first ever race in the Cup Series.
I'm talking about the other
2009, race. Yes.
McMurray's win when Newman landed on top of Harvick's car.
That was a scary blow over.
And Mark Martin slipped later in that race, before the final lap.
That was the end.
Oh, jeez.
Championship hopes, which was really hard.
Yeah.
I thought he shot.
Yeah, but then Jimmy Johnson won his 4th out of 5 champions in a row. Dynasty.
Okay, let's get into playoff drivers, though. What playoff drivers will have the advantage going into this? I think the answer is clearly Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah,
Kurt Busch out of the picture, of course, since he won. He's in the next round.
Yeah, they have an advantage because they have a lot of points, but a driver with less points, I would say, 2 of the drivers, there's 2 of these drivers that are good at the plate tracks. If they avoid wrecks, they're good. Like Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman. I've seen them run good at the plate tracks. I remember last year in the spring, Chase Elliott won, Bowman got 2nd. Some of those races, Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott are good at the plate tracks. If they don't have issues, they'll be probably working together with their other 2 teammates, Jimmy Johnson and William Byron, to help them because they want to be secure going into the Roval. So they'll be working together and try not to get in a crash.
Exactly. Also, let's move on. I think we can talk Xfinity now.
Yeah.
NASCAR Xfinity Series, Talladega 300. First time in history this race was ran twice in a year. It's the 28th race of the season, and as for the playoffs are concerned, the second of 3 races in the round of 12. So this year's race was won by Justin Haley for Colleague Racing. Back in 1992, Ernie Irvan scored the first win in the series at the track.
Yeah, in this race, there's no stats for previous races.
Well, yes.
No, but for the fall, because there's never been a fall race. This is only there because one of the races that was supposed to be on the calendar for the Xfinity Series is not there because of the pandemic.
Right. So with that said, here are some former winners. The driver that had the most wins here is Martin Truex Jr. He scored 3 in a row, all for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Joe Nemechek has 2 wins. He'll be actually in the race, competing for a third.
I don't know what car it is. It said 66. Now the entry list it says 47 for Mike Carmen.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. At one point, Joe Nemechek brought Mike Carmen his best finish as an owner.
I don't know. Mike Carmen didn't announce who's in their cars yet, so we'll know whenever Mike Carmen announces who's in their cars.
All right. Let's see what else is there. What else we have? All right. I know I'm talking to myself. Don't mind me. I've seen enough today. Had enough today. Oh, yeah. Joe Nemechek, Elliott Sadler, Joey Logano also have 2 wins. That's for drivers. For teams, Joe Gibbs Racing, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated tie 5 wins each. Team Penske, JR Motorsports, Nemco Motorsports, and Roush Fenway Racing tie with 2 wins at this track. And manufacturers, Chevy 17 wins, Ford 6 wins, Toyota 4 wins, Pontiac and Dodge 1 win each. So who's going to win this one?
Okay. My pick. This driver is not a non-playoff driver, and he's also a part-time driver. He finished 7th last time. He finished 7th last time we came here. He drives for Colleague Racing. Driver the number 16, AJ Allmendinger, is going to win and redeem himself after the Daytona accident. Because I know he's in the race because Colleague always, I saw in the entry Allmendinger will race. So, yep, I'm picking AJ Allmendinger to win at Talladega.
AJ Allmendinger. Well, Colleague Racing usually outperforms every other team at these tracks. Ross Chastain will be P1.
Okay. Yeah, Colleague's just good recently at the
win. This will be Chastain's race to lose. They're going to form, a line on the outside in the final 10 list, but it's going to be car number 10, finishing position number 1.
Yeah.
Let's talk trucks now.
Oof.
Truck Series at Talladega. First time began in 2006. Mark Martin scored the win. Hectic race. The inaugural Talladega 250. That was back in 2006. I still remember that race when it happened. Last year, Spencer Boyd pulled off an upset win. It was controversial, but nonetheless, he took the checkered flag.
Yeah.
And Timothy Peters has more wins than any other driver. 3. Todd Bodine, Kyle Busch, Parker Kligerman have 2 wins respectively. As for team wins, it's Red Horse Racing. They had 3 wins back when they were a NASCAR team.
Yeah.
GMS Racing and Germain Racing share 2 wins as well.
Yeah.
Toyota's own this race at Talladega for the trucks. 9 wins by the manufacturer compared to Chevy with 4 victories and Ford with 1 sole win. that was the very first running of the race back when Mark Martin took the checkered flag. So I don't know if Motorsport drivers should try their best not to see any of the stats that I just said. It's the final race of the round of 10. 2 drivers go home. And the round of 8 will then follow the round of 10.
Yep.
So, which driver will win the race? And I kind of need the entry list here. I think it's somewhere.
Yeah, they have 39 entries.
$39 entries. I think that's the most entries for a truck race at Talladega.
Yeah.
Yes, I found it on J-Ski. Jeez. Joe Nemechek is in the race. I'm excited.
Okay, I got my pick. This driver, he's in the playoffs in the Truck Series. He currently is 3rd in the points. He has a win at Talladega in the lower series in ARCA 2 years ago in a close finish with Joe Graf Jr. Zane Smith is going to win at Talladega.
This driver that I'm winning is not in the playoffs.
Oh, jeez.
He's probably the most bizarre prediction that I've ever made. Since he's in the kind of equipment there is, I will say it just for the heck of it, and I know because that one YouTuber
I know.
Head over heels over this driver.
Oh, I know.
You can figure out the rest. Corbin Forrester will win at Talladega.
What? Corbin Forrester
driving number 17 in factory Ford equipment for David Gillen and Bolamastis, the DJR Crosley racing team, will win at Talladega. It will be the second time Ford has won at this race, and the first time since the very first running of the Truck Series at Talladega when Mark Martin picked up the win for Jack Roush.
So, Corbin Forrester. Oh my goodness, that's the weirdest prediction I've heard since Armani joked about picking BJ McLeod.
Or Pierre Gasly for winning the German Grand Prix last year. Little did we know he would win a Grand Prix a year later.
Or he said he wanted Chad Fincham to win the Xfinity title last year.
I mean, yeah, joke all you want, but I just see it happening. I don't think anyone predicted Spencer Boyd winning last year, did they?
Well, that's true, but he was still he has 2 starts at Talladega and an average finish of 7.
56 starts, has 0 top 10s, but that's going to change when he has
a
victory ounces.
Yeah, but
never say never.
Remember what happened at Eldora in 2015? He kept spinning his Trump truck around, which was like some of the cautions. Oh, the OE is spun again.
That was a funny caution each time. And then I know it happened a few times with
Race Cicerelli in 2017 for Jennifer Joe Cobb. He did the same
Joe
thing.
Cobb did that himself.
Yeah, there's so many drivers that
but the point is that, when there's an opportunity, you take it. You just
oh yeah,
this is the kind of driver that's gonna work twice as hard. Let's get into the playoffs. Back to reality.
Back to reality.
2 drivers will not proceed to the round of 8. Who will they be?
Okay. My first driver that I don't have making the next round is Todd Gilliland. The reason is Todd Gilliland, he enters in a hole. a kind of deep hole. 19 points. The thing about Gillen, I know he has speed, but he didn't carry that speed the last two events, which really hurts him right now. Which he needs, he wants to be in a good position, but if he's running about 15th and gets caught him in a wreck, he's gonna be eliminated. My second driver, this driver, he's had a good race, then a bad one, and he's not good at the plate tracks. Ben Rhodes. The thing about Ben Rhodes, he's good at the the thing about Ben Rhodes, he did decent at Bristol. Then he crashed out. He crashed at Las Vegas. And the thing about Ben Rhodes at these types of tracks, he's not performed that well. He's always in some sort of accident. Like at Daytona, he spun, got loose, and him and his teammate got into him, and they crashed off in the back straightaway. In Talladega, I've seen Ben Rhodes at Talladega. He's all like in the first time
run this time,
like in 2016, crashed in turn 2. So yeah, so I have Ben Rhodes and Gillen not make it to the round of.
Here's the thing.
Round of 8.
I don't see Christian Eckes making it through unless he gets very lucky.
I just
see it happening.
But I feel like Eckes has more of a shot. He actually did decent. He's good at the. Like, I've seen him do good. Like, he's more consistent than Ben Rhodes recently has been, like, not consistent. Gillen's just.
I see Gillen making it through because he has experience at Talladega.
But for me,
driver, I just don't see making it through Tyler Ankrum. I feel like he'll be involved in the big one before stage 1 is over. He's only 15 points above the cut line.
But I feel like
prevent him from going to the next round.
For me, about why I picked Gillen, it's like Gillen last time, like 2 years ago at Talladega, he crashed out. Shouldn't help him. And last year, he didn't do the best either. It's like, that's one reason I decided to pick Gillen out, because, like, I just don't have the confidence with Todd Gillen being that good at Talladega. I just don't have the confidence in him. And Ben Rhodes is just the inconsistency is hurting him.
Right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to so we'll talk about the IndyCar series, the Harvest Grand Prix doubleheader at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Races 12 and 13 of the 14-race tour. So the penultimate weekend of the season. Scott Dixon won the race earlier this year on the 4th of July.
Yep.
Hotter temperatures for sure.
But now we're in October. These races will be in October, which is cooler temperatures.
First race was held in 2014. Simon Pagenaud won the race. Scott Dixon won, of course, this year. He only has one win. The other drivers that have multiple wins are tied with 3 each. Pagenaud, Will Power. Team Penske has the most wins at 5, so I just listed the other teams that have sole victories. Chip Ganassi Racing and Sam Smith Motorsports, which is, of course, branded today as Arrow McLaren SP. As for engines, Chevy, 5 wins over Honda with 2. I bet all of those 5 wins were from Team Penske.
Yeah.
Race 1, race 2. What do you got for race 1?
For race number 1, this driver, he's never won at this track, but his team has won many times. For me, race 1 will go to Joseph Newgarden. And race number 2. Race number 2 for me will go to a driver for a team that has never won at this track. My pick is driver the number 28. Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to run race 2.
Scott Scott Dixon will sweep the weekend.
I just don't know about Dixon. I don't know. I just don't know. He could, but the thing is, if Dixon just wants to be laid back and not care, and then Newgarden gains points if he doesn't care.
So race 1 is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Race 1 is Friday on USA Network.
Yeah, race 2 Saturday on NBC. Yeah, USA Network will air race
1.
Race 1 is at, I think, 3:30 Eastern. Let me check. I'm checking right now. Race is at 3:30. Race 1 is at 3:30. Race 2 is at 2:30. Race 2 is an hour earlier than race 1.
All right. Yep. And lastly, we're going to get into sports cars. We'll talk about the Sunday event, which is the 8 Hours of Indianapolis, race 2 of the 2020 Intercontinental GT World Challenge.
Yeah, that's why the Harvest GP races are on Friday and Saturday instead of Saturday, Sunday. That's the reason.
Yep, the 2020 season, as far as the World Challenge is concerned, first race since February 2nd of the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 Hours.
Wow.
Which happened 25,000 months ago.
The Bathurst 12 Hours. That race, I just remembered about my pit crashing out. I still remember that event when Bentley somehow got the win.
This race is also part of the GT World Challenge America. So there's that, and it's actually the final race of the GT World Challenge America. But as for the World Challenge, everybody's back. 8 hours. Trying to find an entry list here. So I'd love to make some predictions.
I remember that Bentley team when they won the Bathurst 12 Hours somehow. I was so shocked when that happened. I'm like, nobody expected a Bentley to win that race.
Right. Yeah. It was an upset for sure. Maxime Soleil, Jules Grignon, and Jordan Pepper for the Bentley Team M Sport. But nonetheless, they managed to get the win. Yeah, Indianapolis has held sports car races in the past. It's not the first time that it's happened. But yeah, the Indy Road Course. I know they've held Grand Am back in 2012. I think they held the IMSA Championship, the modern IMSA WeatherTech Championship.
Okay, I found the entry list. I think. Yeah, I found the entry list. Holy, whoa.
Make sure it's 2020, not 2019.
No, this is 2020. But there's not many cars in the race.
Oh, really?
Only 23. That's not a lot. Yeah, there's 3 drivers per car.
Here, I'm trying to find it.
I have the thing on dailysportscar.com. That's where I'm at. dailysportscar.com.
I'm on racecar.com/news. I think it's still in here.
I found 23 car entries. Oh, it's 2-0 Tampa.
Yes,
that's really good.
We're about a minute away from halfway in the second period.
Okay, why is this entry list sideways?
I just need to see.
This entry list is literally sideways. How is that?
Okay, I think McLaren. I know
Oh,
BMW has.
Okay. I rotated it the right way. Now I have it the right way. I had it upside down, which is. This is the entry list.
Dallas needs to score on that power play here.
Yeah, they're gonna try everything.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the entry
Blake
list.
Coleman score the last goal.
I was about to say win.
No. They haven't won yet.
No, it's only in the second period. You can't win in the second.
Say is he's a fan of the Dallas Stars.
Hey Joseph, I sent the link to the.
Thanks. I had to rotate the PDF myself.
Yeah, they have. Okay, there's only 20. Why is there? I see numbers with number. So there's different There's different classes. Oh, there's Canadian drivers in here. Mexico, U.S., France.
I think I have my pick right here.
Which
This team almost won the Nürburgring 24 hours.
Oh my
last
goodness!
Week. But they're going to redeem again. It's the sport team number 31 drivers Mirko Bartolotti, Spencer Pumpelly, Marcus Winkelhock will drive that car.
Wait, I'm just looking. Oh, I get it. The first part is the. I'm just looking. Okay, my pick. I got my pick. This team has won a race this season, and it was an unexpected win by this team. Nobody expected them to win. The 12 Hours of Bathurst. My pick is the number. Okay, wrong tab. The number 7 K-Pax Racing Team, driven by Jules Gounon, Maxime Solet, and Jordan Pepper.
Is that the Bentley team?
Yep, the Bentley number 7. That's their team name, the K-Pax Racing Team.
Right. It's not going to be as big as the last one, but sure, we'll have a lot of entertaining racing.
Yep.
Tampa Bay on the power play. That's interesting.
Yep.
All right. I know everyone that's watching this is probably wanting to watch Monday Night Football or the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 7. I mean, nonetheless, we'll be back knowing who the Stanley Cup champion is.
And people, and sorry for what happened with the technology tonight.
Yeah, technology sucks. 2020 sucks. Everything sucks. 2020 is like any year. A year cannot exceed 12 months.
Well, it's like the same thing. Well, hopefully this podcast ends. Not like that podcast where we spent.
Yeah, when we had to get Streamer Tech to help us end the podcast.
Yeah, just ending the podcast wouldn't work. And we're trying to end it and it wouldn't end. Oh, that podcast was. Yeah.
Time for dinner.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Yep.
For my partners, Daniel Ford, Justin Hebert, I'm Joe Laney Pavlon. Have a good one.